Instagram is busier than ever. People are scrolling more and spending more time online than they did 5 years ago. Yet, something strange is happening. People have stopped posting, and they're doing it on purpose. This shift got so big that Instagram quietly redesigned its entire app around it, which raises a bigger question. What does it really mean to quit? Welcome to Rabbittholes, a show with 6 questions, 2 nerds, 1 word, and countless stories. And today's word is quit. From social media to pop culture, from architecture to music, every question today explores what happens when people don't continue and why quitting sometimes changes everything. Heads or tails? Tails.
Heads.
All right, it is heads.
Cool.
Awesome. So you win the coin toss today. You choose.
I will choose to attempt first
Okay.
because I'm in the mood to decipher some quiz trivia. So let's see.
Awesome. Cool. Let me share my screen and show you my first question, which is on the word quit, Quit. And here it goes. So question number 1 is very, very recent thing that we both encountered while editing our reels on Instagram is what is the reason behind this layout change that Instagram did? So you see the top image is their old layout, which was the home page, then the search explore feed, then the posting icon in the middle, the plus icon, then the Reels tag, and then your profile. And then suddenly, somewhere around November end, December, they decided to change the entire bottom bar layout to home screen, then Reels, then your DMs, which were nowhere in sight on the bottom bar before, then the
Correct.
explore feed, and then the profile. So, simple question is what trend is the reason behind this layout change?
Nice. Super interesting. And loved how you have connected this to quit. Okay, thinking trend. So it's like a descriptive answer, right? Like you're looking for
It's a
some
you
keywords
can
and a description.
Yes, technically it is a 2 word phrase that has entered into the zeitgeist. It's taken off massively, like Republic TVs and everyone is just reporting left, right, and center on this trend by using this 2 word key phrase. But yeah, you can give me a descriptive answer is as to what is happening.
So when you say two-word phrase and Instagram, my brain goes to doom scrolling. Like, is that the trend? So because people
No?
quit doom
Yeah.
scrolling and the watch time was reduced, is it that?
Okay, you are thinking correctly, but not the right area, I would say. It's not doom scrolling. The word is not doom scrolling.
So the shift is primarily the search has gone. I mean, the search and the reels buttons have been swapped, and the post
Correct.
button is replaced by the DMs button.
Correct.
So,
Correct. That's a big hint.
so basically, something forces you or pushes you to open the DMs more than usual or send DMs more than usual. So, like DMs become like the center of the whole conversation and your whole journey on that.
Okay. Thinking on the right lines. How does posting figure into this? Don't think in term like how the algorithm is treating you. Think of how users are treating the algorithm.
Is it people DMing each other reels or sharing reels, and that has become
Okay.
like the number of shares have gone up, or to push
Correct.
people sharing more because that's like the highest level of engagement that
Correct.
you can have. Like it's much more stronger than a like or a comment when you share a reel. So they want to like push that a little bit more. Is it that?
Correct. So what happens with the plus button that was there previously?
It goes on the
The
top
post.
left corner.
Okay. But why and how does it connect to the word quit?
So again, just thinking out loud, basically when people click on plus immediately and then they see that they have to post an image or a reel and then they get a little jittery or anxious and they quit the app and they think that it's a big step to post something about yourself or about your content and so they leave the app. So that's how they quit. Is it that?
Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful way of thinking. I'll give it to you. This is a 2 word phrase which is called posting zero, which
Uh,
is a new trend in the Gen Z people, which says that they have literally stopped posting any of their life online. Like they term it as a performance pressure or term it as, like they just want to not have their life led out online, which the whole concept of social media was pushing us to be in over the last decade or so. But this posting zero has become such a huge thing that a lot of platforms are rethinking their entire layouts. Ads and brands are thinking about, how to get into the DMs more than getting on their homepage. This is basically a rise in, so the layout change, like you see here. What it signifies is the first one is your homepage, which is obviously your homepage that you have curated by yourself. The second is the explore feed originally, which is now the Reels tab. So the data indicates that a large number of people are now viewing Reels more, which obviously doom scrolling plays a part into it. Then the posting button is gone, right? So a lot of people are not posting at all. So it makes sense to not have that button there at all. And the only people who are typically posting are big brands, big businesses, or AI contents out there, all the AI slops or influencers or creators. A general viewer is posting way less than in the last 10 years. But what's interesting is they are living a lot more in their DMs rather than on the homepage. So most of their shares, most of the conversations are happening in the DMs. And this holds true not just with friends, but also with a lot of brands out there who are making the content and taking the effort to reach them, maybe in the broadcast channels or in their DMs directly with some automations and stuff. And then of course you need to have your whole explore feed here. So explore feed also features here, and that was the whole rationale behind Instagram changing their algorithm and the layout here.
Super, man. Like, so good. Wow. I mean, this concept in itself is so thought provoking that they did all this. And then how you have connected that to quit, that, people have quit posting about themselves. That's a beautiful take on
Yeah.
the word quit. Not very usual. Super interesting and niche.
Absolutely. Like the
Brillo.
day I saw this on news, and Palke Sharma's photo was right there next to this word. Why are Gen Zers not posting? And the word, what is it? Quite posting or posting zero was
Posting
in
zero.
bold. Posting zero was there in the bold. I read a little bit about it. They're consciously sharing minimal or no content online, and it is drastically different than having social media fatigue. Actually, like people like you and me, when we talk about social media, we are like, oh, we got bored of it, we don't want to like post more on it. But contrast that to posting zero, where young people are outright rejecting living their lives out on screen but are perpetually online. And this phenomenon was found by a New York blog writer called Chaika, K. Chaika, who coined this term posting zero. And then it's just snowballed into a global national news. Okay, this is actually happening. And to compound on that, Instagram then published their yearly findings. And one striking thing that they found is people are now watching Instagram more off their mobiles. Like they're watching it more on other devices like a bigger tab or like a laptop. And that led Instagram now to foray into a TV screen. So the next update that Instagram is going to come up is that to have like a TV app, just like a YouTube TV app, and your reels and your shorts and whatever form of content is, people can now view it on a TV. So that's just a fascinating journey of a social media app primarily based for your mobile phones, right? So people are outright now rejecting watching it on or posting at least on your phone.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And, from generation to generation, how trends change and, how technology adapts to these behavioral changes that's seen in people and younger folks. Very nice to know. And, I mean, one thing I follow regularly on Instagram is just to get these kind of updates about the algorithm, about the app updates and all is following Adam Mosseri. So he's like the head of
Yeah,
Instagram, and he has these AMAs on Fridays, generally, typically, where he answers people's queries, and they're very, very raw, very upfront, very clear, how they are going about their business on Instagram. So very interesting to know about this. Like, beautiful funda.
absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. Like that's the rationale behind any of the software changes or the technological things that are happening around us, that we like to complain that, oh my God, Instagram changed their layout. But there is such a deep rationale behind it. And it's almost a year and a half of data that they have based this on, right? They're not just outright coming and changing it for the sake of it, but they're actually like, hey, you are actually accessing your DMs a lot more. So why not have it at the sight of your fingertips where your fingers naturally go?
Right.
And sure, it creates a jarring 2-3 days to get used to the layout. But for somebody who's not even posting things on Instagram, it's a gift, I would say.
Yeah, true. I mean, one more thing that I again realized what they've changed recently is the limit on the number of hashtags. So
Yes.
what these guys say at Instagram is basically people are were using them like left, right, center, and thinking that it'll help them get the reach and get them
Yeah.
connect them to the right audience, but it doesn't really help that much. So they've limited now to five, and that's going to be basically it.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to keep up with these changes and the rationale behind it, like the psyche of it leads to a lot of, psychology of the demographics, like how we are consuming media as a like a generation or like as a race of humanity. This wasn't even a conversation like 20, 25 years ago, but now it is so changing so
Exactly.
rapidly that, it's so fascinating to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and on the same lines, like I was thinking, Twitter, like the old Twitter when it was released back then, it had the character limit of 140 characters, right? So basically, what happens is this also I've heard on this podcast called Seen and the Unseen by Amit Verma, and he keeps talking about this a lot. That uh, how your format shapes your content, which means now since you only have 140 characters to
Correct.
express yourself, you need to be very concise, very succinct, nimble, and very witty as well. So that's why if you look at the tweets earlier, like maybe in the early 2000s, you will find them much more richer in content with
Correct.
very few words.
Correct.
Because people had to be humorous, witty, convey their point at the same time in a very limited number of words. So that is one. And secondly, on these lines again, one more point that comes to my head is how uh, format shapes the content is basically why songs are usually in that range of 2.5 to 3 minutes, or why songs earlier in 60s, 70s, 80s were in that range. Basically, that's the length that a vinyl could accommodate. So basically,
Right.
that's the reason that all these songs were of that particular range. So that is how your format defines your content and not the other way around.
Correct. Correct. Interesting.
Cool. Amazing question upfront, and I think we're all warmed up now. So let's go to my first question. Here's the same. Let me share my screen. So today's topic,
Don't quit. Yes.
like we are discussing, is quit. And here's my first question on the topic. So, what is shown in this computer generated model that you see on the right? Basically, what I want is what do these brown colored things indicate? And I'll give you more hints if you want. But for now, this is your question. And again, think why I would put it in a quiz that's on quit.
I'll just take a guess based on what I see here and what I'm thinking. Is this that building in Spain, the Sagrada Familia, which has still not stopped constructing and they have not, maybe the tie into that is they have not quit on the original plans and they're continuing to construct. And this simulation is how it would look when it will be complete.
Bang on. Perfect answer
Whoa,
and very well cracked with the exact name and the exact funda. So this is Sagrada Familia, which is perpetually under
nice.
construction. This is in Barcelona, Spain. So the reason I put it under quit is basically I wanted to see which structures. So one way to look at it is like you mentioned that they've not quit constructing it. How I viewed it was basically constructions where people have it's not being fully constructed because people have quit or they have left or something has not been you know in
Oh,
time online to finish this building. So because of some people quitting, some agencies quitting, it's perpetually under construction. So yeah, that is my connect. Well done, this is a perfect answer. So this is in Catalonia, Spain. So my immediate thing was to just deep dive into Sagrada Familia, what it is, who built this, why is it always perpetually under construction? You always see those
yeah,
huge
why?
yellow cranes always there. So yeah, let me give you a quick lowdown on that, and it's very fascinating what I read. So it's basically the largest unfinished Catholic church in the world, and it's been going on since early 1900s. It's even today, if you go there, it's always under construction. So that a
Mhm.
model that you saw in the previous image, exactly like you said, it's a simulation, or the white part depicts the constructed area, whereas the brown part is a simulation of how it would look when it's fully constructed, which I don't know when it will be. So it was designed by the famous architect Antoni Gaudi. He's a Catalonian
Got it.
himself. And this was, of course, declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984. And the primary reasons for the delay of it be completed is basically there are three, four reasons that everyone cites. One is the complex design. Gaudi had a very intricate idea in mind. So he kind of combined Gothic as well as parametric styles to construct this. So it's very complex in nature to finish it. That is one. Second was funding issues. So they only rely on the private funding or the ticket sales that happen at the site. There is no involvement of church or government or any kind of other donations that happen. So monetarily, it's very tough for them to get the funds to get the construction completed. So that is number two. Number three is loss of Gaudi's original plans. Yeah. So
Oh,
basically, 1936 Spanish Civil War, a lot of his original designs and concepts have been lost forever.
oh my
And
God.
because they cannot be recovered, yeah, because they cannot be recovered, it's very tough to complete it in the same way or the same with the same thought that Gaudi envisioned it to be. So that it's another challenge that the construction people are facing. And of course, in COVID-19, by the way, the construction never stops. You were right. They never quit constructing it. The only time it was halted was during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was the first time it was halted since 36 Spanish Civil War. So, yeah, you never quit constructing the
Wow.
Sagrada Familia. uh, and
Wow.
just a couple of other things that I read about. Who was Gaudi and, what did he do? What are his other sites? So basically, he's nicknamed God's architect. Like he's very revered in Spain and Europe. Uh, he was also called the Dante of architecture. His
Oh,
designs are very intricate, very complex, a combination of multiple styles. There are seven UNESCO World Heritage sites that have been built by Gaudi. That is a claim in itself. So there is the Parque Güell, which is just nearby the Sagrada Familia. There is Palacio Güell, there is Casa Mila, and all the other seven sites are all in Barcelona or Catalonia in Spain. So seven is a
wow.
huge number. Yeah, that's something.
Wow.
And the one more interesting fact that I read about him was there's this famous painting called Saint Philip Neri by someone called Joan Limona. So because he looked like the Saint Philip Neri, he was the face of that painting. So he kind of modeled for that painting as well. So yeah, very
Nice.
interesting rabbit hole I went into from quit to not something directly related to quitting, but something that's in action that the construction never stops. They never quit
Nice.
constructing the Sagrada Familia. So that was my rabbit
Awesome.
hole.
Awesome. That like the word, like his name Gaudi, and you mentioning that he amalgamated two, three different styles together. Does the word English word Gaudi come from this dude's name? Do you
Oh,
know that?
I didn't read about it, but
Wait,
maybe
let
we
me
need to check that out.
quickly check. I mean, I'm very
Yeah.
curious about.
Yes, if it's true, it's poof, amazing.
Oh yeah, crazy. Okay, cool. So no, apparently the word Gaudi does
Okay.
not come from the architect Antoni Gaudi because the word was used ever since the 15th century and he was born in the oh my God, the word Gaudi originates from God, which means a trinket or an ornament. And that's nowhere how we use the word today.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, I mean, good that we clarified it because I would have
Okay.
also
There's
thought that
actually a
it's the same thing.
mistaken belief. Yeah, there's actually
Yeah,
a mistaken belief
mistaken
because
belief.
Gaudi's architectural style is often described as elaborate and ornate, leading
Hmm.
to the mistaken belief that Gaudi was derived from his name. The connection is coincidental and etymologically incorrect. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, interesting.
cool. Good clarification. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
but
Perfect.
wow, man, the coincidence here is insane, right? Like he does Gaudi work.
Yeah, it's like Arsene Wenger is named after Arsenal. I always thought that as a kid, but it's just coincidence.
Yeah, awesome. But like then the framing of the question also, and I don't know, the first thing I thought about was that. So Like beautifully
Yeah.
framed, and
Yeah.
the entire funda is too good.
Thanks. And there again, when you think of unfinished constructions, that's the first thing that pops to mind. There are some others as well, but they're not very famous. Some parliament buildings, some bank buildings. But this is the most famous unfinished one
Yeah,
for
the road in
many
front
years.
of my house is also one.
Yeah, the in fact after Sagrada Familia, the most important one is listed in Bangalore, the Ejipura flyover. It's the most significant unfinished construction site after Sagrada Familia. We should definitely give a shout out to Ejipura flyover.
Yes, absolutely. God. Awesome. Cool. That was a good trip down to architectural and artistic ventures. Should I move to my second question? All right. Question number 2 for you, Deven, is okay. I have given you 3 images here, and there is one more image on the next slide, which is more of a hint. So I'll come to that in the next part. The overarching question here is you have to identify which pop star I am talking about and what economic impact she created, or she was the main spokesperson, the voice of this economic impact, you can say. You have to identify 2 things here. So first one is a tweet from Fiverr, which is a platform where all the freelancers find work. So Dash, which is the pop star, wants us to quit our jobs and make living on our own terms. You heard the woman. That was their tweet back in 2022. And these two are some of the lyrics from the song that made her the voice of this thing. So you won't break my soul, you won't break my soul, I'm telling everybody. And then the other one goes like, I'm about to explode, take off this load, bend it, bust it open, won't ya make it go? So identify the pop star and what economic impact. So it's a 3-word era of economics that I'm talking about. Identify.
Already so fascinated with the fund and framing. Very nicely put. I'm thinking of the era first, like who could this be? I know it's a woman for sure, so that narrows it down because of the tweet. Uh, but I don't recall any songs with these lyrics. You won't break my soul. I'm telling everybody. Okay, I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark with one pop star and see if the era is right. And because see, I'm confused because this tweet leads me to think that it's a new age pop artist, while the 3-word economic impact probably makes me think it's like not that recent. Okay, I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna say Britney Spears, like just without any backing,
Okay,
logical
okay.
backing.
Okay, that's a decent guess. I would say like you're not off by a long.
Okay.
But no, it's not Britney Spears. Of course, I am not asking you the song because that would make it, I think, too tough. Uh,
Hmm.
do you want the other image as the hint? There are more hints there
You
on that
can give me
image for
era
both.
maybe. Okay.
The timeline for this, like this particular economic impact, lasted from it started late 2020, and then this particular phenomena in economics died down by early 2023. So you can say 2021 to 2022 was when this period in time is termed as this that I'm asking.
Cool. Okay.
And the reason I included the lyrics is because what this economic impact or whatever is very closely tied to the lyrics, and that is the reason why she became the face of this movement.
Okay. Again, just a hunch. Is it Taylor Swift because of the era? Because of eras?
No, not it's not Taylor Swift.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. One more random guess, and then you can maybe give another hint. Is it Nicki Minaj?
No, not Nicki
Okay.
Minaj.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to? Okay, I'll just give you the next image as the hint. I think that should
Okay.
lead you to the answer, because the economic impact is much more of curiosity for me. So these are the rest of the lyrics for her song, this particular song, and the image on the white is basically what this impact was, the economic era.
Oh, B is back leads me to Beyonce because that's what she's
Okay,
called.
okay.
Beyonce and Queen's in the front. Is it like you go Queen or something like that?
Not so Beyonce is right, obviously.
Okay,
So she made this
nice.
song called "Break My Soul," which became the anthem for this period of time. Now, for the era that I'm talking about,
Hmm.
think about what was going on in the world at that time, particularly relating to job markets and what that would do to the entire labor industry and why these lyrics would then fit. Also think about the world for today.
Oh, quit your job? I mean,
Yes, I will give it to you. So it is
oh,
Beyonce,
the
and this
nice.
era is called the Great Resignation. And basically, Beyonce came out with this song because of this rise in phenomena and the rise in the number of TikToks which people were making that, hey, my job is not satisfying me. So I'm just gonna go quit now. It literally was a time in the entire world where a lot of people, obviously because during the COVID times, saw that the nature of work could actually change. Like there could be a lot of hybrid work that you can do, and the world won't stop running. So they opted for better opportunities, they opted for a better pay or whatever, and publicly on TikToks and everything, they started resigning. So this period economically is called the Great Resignation. On TikTok, this era is called the Quit Talk. So that
Oh,
was the
nice.
basis of my question here. And yeah, this became the anthem of this. So if you go and see any Quick Talk videos, this song would particularly be playing in the background. And that's where I came up with this.
Super, super. I mean, again, complete TIL for me. Like the song leading to such kind of a movement of sorts. Very cool. Wow. I will now listen to the song and
Yeah.
read about it. The Quit Talk. Okay.
Yeah,
I will
honestly,
read
even I
about
listened to this song. Yeah, even I listened to this song while framing this question. But one rabbit hole that I went into after this is okay, so till 2022 end, this was the period was called the Great Resignation. Do you want to take a guess as to what period came after that? So first is the Great Resignation where everyone is like, hey, we'll do our own thing and have side hustles and move out of this job that they had. What era would come after that? What do you think?
the great comeback. People coming back to job.
You're close. You're very
Okay.
close. It's called the Great Regret. So
Okay.
the literally economic data shows that people who had quit their jobs found it very hard to sustain in their new lifestyle, and their ideas of grandeur or the freedom that they wanted, they couldn't achieve. So there was a lot of people who came back to the work or sought same roles in a different companies or whatever, and this led to one coining of one particular term, one particular corporate jargon called a boomerang employee,
Yes.
which is basically what, like, if you leave X company, you go to work at Y, but you don't find it good, you come back and start working at X. This has been there for a long time, but this gained popularity during this period as a lot of people started becoming boomerang employees.
Yeah.
Now that led me down to a whole bunch of new corporate jargon that has come up. So a little game within a game I want to play with you is,
Yes.
let's try to guess what these new words would mean. Okay, so the first one is anti-perks.
Anti-perks will be someone who is like sincere and honest and wants no greasing of hands or perks.
No, no, no.
Okay.
So think about in terms of the company, like the perks that they give, but this is an anti-perk.
Okay. Like no bonus or something. Like they will.
I mean, okay, you're close, but basically it's like a perk that sounds like a positive offering, but is actually potentially demotivating. Like maybe they just say, we have free coffee for you every time. They list it under your contract as a perk, but it's not really a perk, right?
Yeah.
Something of that sort. The next one is a bare minimum Monday.
Okay. This may mean like bare minimum, like having less headache or workload on Monday, like having a relatively freer Monday and not
Correct.
like get bogged down with the number of mails you got.
Correct. So companies are now doing this, not all obviously, but some are doing that. That, hey, like, go into your week gradually. Don't like just jar yourself from the weekend. So bare minimum things you need to do on Monday, and they're calling it a bare minimum Monday. We already covered boomerang employees. What is coffee badging?
I have heard of this. I have heard of this. I have definitely heard about this. It means,
We've all met such employees for sure.
yeah, I mean, you meet over a coffee, or rather, some employees who force you to go for coffee after regular breaks, like something like that.
Close, but coffee badging. So what is that badge? that you get in coffees.
Badge that you get in coffees.
As in, what is badge like in terms of a work culture? What is badging? What would that mean?
Poaching? No.
Okay, chal, I'll just give it to you. It's a informal act of promoting one's own achievement during coffee breaks.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember now.
So basically, casually just boasting about ourselves while
Mm.
drinking coffee with the boss or whatever, and just overall being like a we've all met such people. So I don't want
Yeah.
to say anything more.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very nice terms. I
yeah.
mean,
So
I have heard about golden handcuffs and golden parachutes and all those stuff. These are pretty
yes,
new and very, very interesting.
yes, yeah. Some new words keep coming up in the jargon, and then there's always such phrases like herd the cats or open the kimono and brain dump and jump the shark
What
and all
what
the
what
list
does
goes
open
on
the
and on.
what does open the kimono mean?
It's basically like just lay all the facts bare and like let's
Okay.
look what the analytics are. Basically, I've heard that phrase a lot.
Jump the shark, by the way, interestingly you said that it actually comes from a show. Again, I may be misquoting here, or rather, actually, let me just uh, Google it
Yeah,
so we can give authentic info.
on air fact checking.
Okay, let me. Okay, so what does jumping the shark mean? So jumping the shark or shark jumping means that a creative work or entity has evolved and reached a point in which it has exhausted its core intent and is introducing new ideas with extreme exaggeration to the original theme. So basically, when the creativity factor steeply declines,
Mhm.
the phrase was coined by 1985 radio personality John Hain in response to the 1977 episode of the American sitcom Happy Days, in which there is a character called Fonzie. He jumps over a live shark while on water skis. So, yeah, I mean, what a strange origin, but that's where it comes from.
Yeah. And
I hope we don't
funny
jump the
that you
shark.
mentioned, I hope so. But funny that you mentioned strange origin. The biggest one that sticks out in my mind is to drink the Kool-Aid. Have you heard that phrase being used?
Yes, and I know kind of where it comes from, but please do tell the
My
audience.
God. And yeah, the corporate usage of this thing is, I drank their Kool-Aid and stuff because basically assigning, conscribing to whatever ideas your leaders put up without much of a question or a pushback. So that's the usage of this phrase now. But it actually comes from a very, very dark happening in back in 1978 in this town called Jonestown. And I don't know if it was a cult or if it was like a brainwashing thing or a mass hypnosis thing or whatever. But basically, what happened is the mayor of this town, the Jonestown, one night just comes on air and says every citizen of this town is going to get a Kool-Aid, and he had laced the Kool-Aid with cyanide so that the entire town just vanishes in one
Yeah.
single night, and the entire town for some reason followed this dude and literally drank the Kool-Aid and just vanished as in off the air. And it's called a Jonestown massacre if anyone wants to
Yes.
go deeper and read into it. But it's crazy how the phrase that we use in daily corporate life comes from something so dark. When you said that about jumping the shark, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's this
Yeah,
phrase also there.
it's crazy, man. I mean, again, we should do an entire, not even episode, like a series on etymology because
I swear.
especially these phrases and idioms where they come from, usually there is a very interesting backstory to them. And it generally
Absolutely.
comes from real life or it comes from world of pop culture, like jumping the shark is. So, it's fascinating
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. That's 2 episodes in a row you've brought this. We should do etymology quiz thing up.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
next time, viewers, maybe next time.
yes, next time for sure. I think I am manifesting. Okay. Okay. Here's the second question for you. So, pardon my Italian. Non puoi lasciarmi così. Okay. This is an Italian version of what? I will start it at that and then obviously give you hints.
Okay.
Non puoi lasciarmi così. This is an Italian version of what? Again, very straightforward connect to the theme of the day.
Is it? I have a very, very offbeat guess. Okay.
Go for it.
Because how the word non poi lacriami così is it never gonna give you up?
No, I have not rickrolled you, but you're thinking on the right lines. It is a translation of A famous song.
Okay.
Oh man, that's
Translation
actually a
of a
better question.
famous.
I should have just rickrolled you and then go into the rickrolling rabbit hole. But that's for some other day.
Don't worry, I recalled myself here. So, uh, okay. Which other song comes to my mind?
So because actually, I mean, never gonna give you up actually fits the bill as well because it's never gonna give
Yeah,
you up. So you don't quit on that person. So
correct.
nice. Anyway, okay, yeah, but a famous song, very famous song,
Mhm.
and it literally means you can't leave me this way. I mean, non puoi lasciarmi così literally means you can't leave me this way.
Okay, that's the translation of this.
Yeah.
Things coming to mind with those lyrics. Any
Okay.
hints?
Hint is think of famous boy bands. So
Can't.
this
Is
this
it? Wait. Something flashed in my mind. I'm gonna try to recall.
go for it. Go for it.
Is it? No. Is it Backstreet Boys? Is it Tell Me Why?
It's Backstreet Boys. It's Backstreet Boys, but not Tell Me Why.
Okay.
It
But
literally
that's
has the word
now
quit
that
in it.
song is stuck in. Okay.
So you need to tell me what.
All rise. Never. Why is Rick Roll song stuck in my head? Okay. Backstreet Boys songs. Let me think. Ah man, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, so it starts with the word quit. And what more hint can
Quit
I give?
playing
It's
games
like,
with my heart.
yay, finally, well done. Perfecto, perfecto. Quit
Oh my
playing games
god.
is mad. So you can see this is the Italian version of the right. There is the image. Uh, so they
Nice.
released this same song in Italian, Non puoi lasciarmi così, and yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. Basically, this song was put at number 26 by a Rolling Stone as the greatest boy band songs of all time. It's the best selling boy band of all time, Backstreet Boys. Like they have some 130 million plus copies sold. So yeah, then I went into the rabbit hole of Backstreet. So first of all, well done. Perfect
Mhm.
crack. Yeah, then I was just reading up on Backstreet Boys and what they've done and what's their discography look like. So basically, they are named after the Backstreet Market in Orlando. They all hail from Orlando. Uh, that's them. They also got the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2013. They've, as I said, the highest grossing boy band of all time. And they're the only boy band after Led Zeppelin, if you can call them boy band. Beatles and Led Zeppelin and
They are not a
Stones.
boy band.
Yeah. They're the only boy band since Led Zeppelin whose first 10 albums have reached on the top 10 on Billboard Top 100. You know, so
Crazy.
very nice achievement to have. One another thing, I mean, of course, you might have seen it, but it's very fascinating is the cred ad that features Venkatesh Prasad, Jawahir Srinath,
Yeah.
and they are called the Venka Boys. So there's a play on Venga Boys, but their whole
Yeah.
video looks like they are the boy band and they're like Backstreet Boys
Yeah.
of this time. A very nicely done ad. So a lot of other boy bands I went into, and it was like NSYNC and Five and Westlife and Blue and Boyzone and BTS. And there is a term for a group of girls as well. So it's called a girl group. So like how we have boy bands, there's a girl
Okay.
group. And obviously there's Spice Girls in them. So then I was reading, who are the Spice Girls? So obviously there is Posh, but do you know who are the other four Spice Girls? Like what are they
No.
think like? So there's Scary
I've heard
Spice.
something like bubbly, like some.
Close, yeah.
There's some version of spice like sweet spice, posh spice,
Yeah,
sugar
there's
spice, something of
Scary.
that sort.
There
That's what I
is
know.
Yeah, you're on. I mean, think on the right lines. Scary, sporty, ginger, baby, and posh spice. So then I was reading about all this. So that was my rabbit hole on quit playing games with my heart, boy
Nice.
bands, and Backstreet Boys.
We both have thought of entirely
Very, di-
different
very
things.
different things.
But one thing, man, like you gave me very little hints with the question framing, but it's so surreal that I picked on that this might be a music question, and that was my first guess. Like I'm still in shock that I took that guess, but like
Yeah, it could have been
brilliant. Like
anything. Like it could have been an Italian
exactly,
translation of a movie dialogue or some famous quote. But you immediately went to
exactly.
songs, and that's your quizzing brain and years of quizzing knowledge helping you take that hunch.
Maybe, but it's also maybe the vibe that you set here with how you ask the questions and how you frame it stuff. So I don't know. I think it's something intangible that leads us to it. But
True.
wow, okay, that's quite philosophical. But
Yeah.
okay, great
Yeah,
rabbit
that was
hole
my
then.
second cue. Yes, time to listen to more Backstreet Boys songs. By the way, they were in India and
Yeah,
I wanted to go, but sadly couldn't. So you should catch
yeah.
them soon.
Big concert last
Yes.
year, right?
Yeah, last year.
Crazy. Yeah, so
Cool.
many of these acts are coming. Linkin Park is coming
Linkin
this
Park is
month,
coming to
actually.
Lola and Bangalore as well. You're
And
planning
Bangalore,
to go?
two shows they've added to
Yes,
Bangalore.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
You're planning to go?
I'm there. Yeah,
Oh,
I've booked Mumbai shows. I'll be there in Mumbai.
awesome. Let me know
Cannot miss it.
how you feel in the end. Does it matter or not?
Maybe I'll feel some numb, or maybe I'll feel like somewhere I belong.
You will definitely be going crawling with the traffic. So that's fine.
I think this episode will cross 2 hours if we keep doing
Oh
this.
yeah,
So
we should go to the last question before we go into another round of funning.
yes, cool. My third question for you. It's funny how both of our second questions are about songs.
Yeah.
But my third question for you is a timeline. And basically, you have to guess a person based on this timeline. The clue is quit X for Y, then quit Y for X. Okay, so Y and X are very easy to get here. But phase one for this person was Dr. Doom, very trending right now. Not the only thing that X did, like the person in question did, but Dr. Doom, one of his most famous works. Then quit X for Y to make Darkseid, which is, let's say, a Thanos level villain for Y. And then again quit this particular phase to make the Eternals, which we all know by the Marvel movie right now. And yeah, you can guess who this person is.
Okay. I'm guessing X is DC and Y is Marvel.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, my very limited knowledge of DC and Marvel superheroes. I'm sure a lot of viewers are going to be screaming the answer at the screen, but I can't figure it out. So, so do I have to guess like a person or a character?
Yes. It's a person's name, and he is very famous in comic fraternity. And this particular story of quit Marvel for DC and then again quit DC for Marvel has actually led to shaping of creator rights in its own way. So
Oh,
very iconic piece of comic history and maybe contractual history as well, I would say.
dude, I have to pass. I can't. I mean, I will throw some names like Stanley and Jack Kirby, who have always been Marvel. I mean, who has always been Marvel
Why
and never DC.
Like, why did you not throw this as a guess? Because it is Jack Kirby.
What? What? I would never believe he ever went to DC. Okay,
Exactly. Like if
shocking.
you see the MCU right now and them outright coming and glorifying Jack Kirby and his characters, you never would have thought that Jack Kirby once also used to work for DC, right? But again,
Oh.
the story that it goes is that initially he worked with Stanley to create all these iconic characters. Like he created Black Panther. He created amazing storylines about Captain America. Fantastic Four, he had a big hand in shaping their career. Specifically, the Thing from Fantastic Four, based on Jack Kirby's early life and where he grew up and stuff like that. But what used to happen is Marvel Comics at that time used to focus a lot on Stan Lee instead of Jack Kirby as the editor in chief, and he got all the plaudits and the say in where the story would go. And Jack Kirby was a little frustrated with his treatment there. So he kind of joined hands with DC, who approached him based on his predicament at Marvel. And they literally told him, ki, hey, we'll give you the entire creative freedom, create whatever you want. And that's when he went back and created iconic villains like Darkseid, who is like a galactic level foe, and created the Forever People and started telling stories about gods and stuff. But again, after that, when DC started meddling with his storytelling, what famously happened is he drew a lot of Superman comics, believe it or not, like from Doctor Doom to Superman. He drew a lot of Superman comics, but the DC editors then retroactively went back and changed all the faces in the comics to suit their style. Because
Oh,
Jack Kirby drew it in a certain way, but then they changed the comic style of Superman faces to be in a DC shape. And then again, that led to a rift forming between DC and Jack Kirby. who again then came back to Marvel because at that time Marvel was looking for some creative spark to come back into their comic storytelling because DC was kind of overshotting them in sales. So they welcome back Jack, and the rest is history. They created a lot of amazing characters in the process.
Wow. He was probably the first boomerang.
Yes, great transition. He's a boomerang employee.
But man, I
But
am
yes,
super surprised just through those names because I was that firstly those are the only names I know aside of some of the directors. But I'm like, okay, can't be these. They are too loyal. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like Paul Scholes or Giggs playing for some other club. You will never associate.
absolutely, absolutely. Because he's so famous, I also thought, okay, let me ask a question about him because otherwise I would have asked the Funda if he was like a deep cut sort of a thing.
Hmm.
But his life is so interesting that, okay, the first thing, very early in his career, he worked on one specific cartoon. Just off the top of your head, do you want to guess what cartoon he worked?
Cartoon and like not a comic character.
No, he worked on animating a cartoon,
Was it
like very famous.
was it Popeye or something?
What a guess! It is Popeye.
I am buying a lottery ticket. I'm going like
Dude, you
casino or
have to.
something.
You have to today.
It's
Yeah,
I'm
he
just
worked on
randomly
Popeye, man.
I'm randomly yapping. Really? I mean, I was thinking Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, these things, Yogi Bear and all. I'm like, okay, let me go with Popeye. What? Because I know Popeye is that guy, E.C. Seger or someone.
Mhm.
Wow, okay. I didn't know that Jack Kirby worked. Crazy.
What a guess. And another interesting thing, of course, because a lot of things happened in his life. I cannot obviously go in and tell everything. But Jack Kirby was the original idea generator of Black Panther as like a stand-up hero for the blacks in America. That was the original idea because behind creating the entire Black Panther comics in general. But the funniest name given to any superhero character, according to me, was the name originally given to Black Panther by Jack Kirby. He called it a cold tiger. I don't know.
Man.
It's too funny for me, man. I'm glad Stanley overruled Jack Kirby for that and created
Yeah.
Black Panther instead. Yeah. And if you want to discuss more about Jack Kirby, guys, comment down
Yes.
below. We'll have
Yes.
maybe one-on-one discussion with him. But yeah, that was my entire segue into comics and him quitting a role twice and coming back and how we fit into all of this.
Fantastic. I
Over
have
to you.
loved all the three questions and how we have made like quit fit into these things. It's so good that you thought about these things. Very, very cool, Fanda. And I am still surprised how have I managed to crack it like so random. But super.
Sometimes you're
That
just
feeling is
on
some
it.
yeah, I mean, there is one feeling when there are a lot of clues in the question. So there are three types of like answers that you give, right? One is you know it off the cuff, which is okay, which you know it. A second is you deduce the answer. There are some ends, there is some logical explanation. You add 2 plus 2 and arrive at an answer, and that's right. That's great. But the greatest feeling is when you don't know nothing and you just take one random name and bet on it, and you're right. So I think
And
that's
that
the greatest.
happening twice in a row.
Yeah, that's insane. That's like a
Too
grand
good.
slam.
Too good. Well
Cool.
done.
Yes. My set. So here's your last question, which is this. So cartoon strip where someone is doing something, and then at the gates of heaven, the angel says that, "Sorry, Mr. Dash, I am not buying it, and good luck finding a lawyer up here." So who is this person, or what has been blanked out? Both are the same. And this is, of
Okay. What
course,
is he doing?
related to quit, but
Uh-huh.
not in a direct way.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm struggling to see the connection to quit.
Yeah. Do you have a
Okay.
guess for the person?
I'll take a guess. Yeah. Is it OJ Simpson?
Perfect. And why would I ask about him?
That's the part I'm having
So
problems
you
with.
got OJ.
Was it because he was acquitted from
The
his hearing or something?
case of OJ Simpson. It's the most famous acquittal probably in the history of the United States. So that's where it connects to the word quit. That
Right.
I went into the rabbit hole of who were the famous people who got acquitted. Basically, that's the root of the word acquitted is
Mhm.
quit. And I mean, basically, it encapsulates the word quit. So I was going through those rabbit holes and those pages. And then, of course, I found out OJ Simpson. So perfectly answered. Yeah. So yeah, this is OJ Simpson, and that's like the most famous acquittal in the history, probably. So his actual name is Orenthal James Simpson, so OJ, and he was also nicknamed Juice because OJ is orange juice. That's very funny. Yeah, he's actually called Juice
Wow.
by everyone. By the way, before like we probably all know him for this case and all, which we'll come to, but he was a stellar NFL football player. So he played for 11 seasons, mostly with the Buffalo Bills. He was generally regarded as the greatest running back in the history of NFL. He also was the MVP, the most valuable player in 1973. Also featured in multiple All Stars, All Pro teams. So, like, he was a stellar player, like a legend back then, right? But again, of course, the limelight now is taken by, for good or bad reasons, is about his case. So basically,
Mm.
he was accused of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown and uh, Ron Goldman, I think. Yeah, Ron Goldman. In 1994, he was convicted. Back then, he was acquitted. In 1995, he was acquitted. So the whole point was that they had seen this murder in the these dead bodies in the condo of this guy called Ron, and the first person of interest was obviously OJ Simpson. Then he obviously denied it, and then there was this famous chase, a car chase that was there. So basically, it was a live televised slow speed car chase where he was in a white Ford Bronco, and there were shots, people were seeing it live, yeah, in 1995. So it was all over the media, and people were seeing it live. Will he be caught, will he not be caught? And he was basically just running away from the cops on the motorway. And this car chase is so iconic that it's been parodied and spoofed in multiple other things on pop culture on TV. So for example, this was in the NYPD videos, this was in Shrek 2. This was also in Seinfeld, by the way. One more reference in Seinfeld was, so first let's talk about the glove part. Why is the glove so important with OJ Simpson? So what happens is he was acquitted. Basis what? Obviously he was the single most person of interest, and he was top of the list of who people who had done it. But there was his defense attorney who did one thing. There were blood-stained gloves found in the area where the murder happened, and they got into the courtroom. And OJ tried on the gloves, right? And it was not fitting. If you can see the image that I showed, it was not fitting. It was kind of very tight for him. So there's this very famous quote that was said by his defense attorney, and it was like, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." And that is why he was acquitted. Just basis that if the glove doesn't fit him, how could have he murdered? Which probably is obviously false, but okay. Let's assume that it was true. So the same thing was parodied in Seinfeld with bra, where this whole thing was repeated, where a lady was asked to wear a bra and it was not fitting. So it's a very very famous take on this episode. But yeah, this is all the OJ saga. He was also parodied in Simpsons and makes appearances in Simpsons, South Park, and all the other series as well. So yeah, this is a very very fascinating character and case, and this was what Quit led me to acquittal, and probably the most famous
Nice.
acquittal. By the way, he was acquitted in 95. He was convicted in 2008, but not for this case. He was convicted of a Las Vegas
Okay.
robbery. I mean, imagine that you probably wash your hands of a big case like this and then get caught in a robbery case. Wow. So I think you were destined to do
Wow.
your time, but crazy, crazy.
Exactly. My God.
So this is what I read about, and very very fascinating thing. And I would urge everyone to look at those videos of the live cop chase and the chase, and the glove not fitting. It's there are very very unique elements to this case that sets it apart.
Nice. Nice. Wow. TIL. I knew about OJ roughly. I read something back in the day, but the way you narrated it and presented it, too good. Like, love. It was very gripping.
Perfect.
I can imagine that live car chase would
Yeah.
be such
Yeah.
high cinema television back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
That white Ford. Bronco became so iconic, and people were talking about it like for months, and it's there on YouTube for people to see. You can go and see how it was. Like there are a lot of helicopters and people following him
Mm.
and all that. And I think, yeah, at the end they caught him, of course, but crazy. There was a series as well on this where David Schwimmer from Friends played I think his defense attorney or his closest pal. So yeah, you should all watch this if you've not.
Awesome. Nice. I think we've done a fantastic job with the word quit.
Really
Can't
proud. Yeah, I
imagine it
mean,
could lead us to these things.
yeah, I mean, I am so proud. That's the words that we covered such a different array of topics, and so glad that I got to attempt so many things. Got to know about so many things. So wonderful.
Awesome. Cool. That brings us to the end of this episode. And let us know in the comments if how you fared in all these questions. Did you guess it before us? Let us know what you would like to see more. Shoot us your questions so we can also attempt some more questions when we go through this. And yeah, see you next time.
Yes, see you next time, and please do share your stories or anecdotes or questions on quit if you know something more. Some of my rejects were quit India movement. There was this I quit from Three Idiots, and then I went into rabbit holes of what are the famous
Hmm.
things written on walls. So basically graffiti, like Kilroy was here,
Right.
or Banksy. So I was fully into that rabbit hole, but I had to come back and kind of put it as a reject question. So yeah, it's been fascinating doing this. So hope all you viewers and listeners like it. So do like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Till then, I'm Devin.
And I'm Anurag. And stay curious.
Stay curious.
Awesome. And I think we forgot to choose the word for next time.
Yes, let's do the word for next time.
Yes. This will be post credits scene
Yes,
after.
like how Marvel does.
Yes. Let me pull up the trusty random word generator. 6 words, reset, and generating in 3, 2, 1.
Resignation. I can see resignation. After quit, we cannot take
I
resignation.
have.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should
Nice.
roll the
Okay.
dice one more time.
Okay. Is there no word that's standing out for you?
Very tough. Warm, maybe. Again, it's like the work
Yeah,
thing,
even I was thinking of warm.
but we did quit already.
Right. Cool. Let's re-roll it again
Sure.
and hope for a better set.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
What? Okay.
Okay. These are better, I feel.
Exchange and goal kind of stand out for me. What about you?
Same.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that.
So you can choose
Both are
whichever you feel more good about.
exchange or goal. Man, I'm being too indecisive here. You wanna
I think we can go for exchange just because again I'm kind of
okay.
thinking out loud. That goal again, I mean, there's some obvious things, but then there are some things which are a little bit more extrapolated. Like they're not. It's a dotted line, and not a very strong connect.
Right.
Like a
Okay.
goal of something or aim of something. So that, but exchange can entail a lot of things like swap, stock exchange. Again, I don't want
Right.
to give out a lot of topics, but it can lead to many more areas to uncover. So I feel like strong about exchange. Or you can.
Cool. Cool. I think I agree with you on that front. So let's pick the word exchange for the next time.
Nice.
And again, I think it fits in well with the thing. It's not a noun like this time, and it's like another verb to go out on,
Yeah.
and can also be a noun. In some
Exactly.
cases, but
This is both, so that's
yes,
great.
I think, yeah, I like it. So let's fix the word exchange for the next episode of Rabbit Holes.
Perfect.
And yeah, that's been us.
Thank you so much, and see you next time on Rabbit Holes.
See you next time and stay curious.
Nice.